I am not a fantasy reader by any means. I don't think I've ever touched a fantasy book. The closest I've got are Kimberly Lemming's books, and they were really fun, but they weren't like enough to like make me want to dive in. So everyone's been talking about this book called Divine Rivals, and I was going to read Fourth Wing for my like romance reader reads fantasy for the first time, but I think that like I don't know, something about Fourth Wing, I just still don't want to go there yet. And I feel like Fourth Wing people have like, even fantasy readers either love it or hate it, so I don't want to start with something like that. I want to start with something like Divine Rivals, and because everyone's talking about that book right now and how good it is, I think that'll be a better like fantasy book to start with, because I just feel like that's just, I don't know, I feel like that's just where I want to start. So I'm going to go in Barnes & Noble and see if they have it. If they don't have it here, I'll just order it, but I thought, you know, why not make a little Barnes & Noble trip out of this as well. So, welcome to the video. It is a romance reader reads fantasy for the first time, and I hope that I could, like, be convinced. Like, I would love to just do, like, I could read romance all day long. Strictly romance. I just finished Reckless by Elsie Silver. Theo Silva. On a different level, but we'll talk about that another time. So I am going to go to Barnes & Noble, and you guys are going to come along with me, but first I have to take a sip. I have to stay hydrated. I take my Emotional Sports Stanley everywhere with me. Starbucks drink of the day is a honey citrus mint tea, because I am getting a little sick because the weather changed in Georgia. So water, tea. I'm ready to start this Barnes & Noble trip. I didn't get to record myself shopping for Divine Rivals, but I literally knew where it was, so I just like ran in and ran out really quick. But I have spent at least a day with this, and so far I really enjoy it. It's a little confusing at times. This is my first fantasy read, so I have not read fantasy prior to this other than like those Kimberly Lemming books. But I'm a little confused at times. It did like slow down for me, and that's just because I really needed some romance, and like they weren't really like talking to each other, so I was getting a little bored of like the filler information. But like the plot with like the story or world building with the gods in this is pretty interesting as well, because I'm really into like Greek mythology sometimes, so learning about like this world's version of gods was really interesting. However, I think I finally have made it to the juicy part of this book, because he finally made it to where she was, but then like their first encounters, they were in a really super dangerous situation, and like he didn't really know that, and it was like a really high stress, high intensity moment, and like it was just so good. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't read it, but like it's just like a high stress situation. And it was like a reunion type thing, which I live for, because I might be convinced. I might be convinced to be a fantasy reader. You never know. If this ends the way that I need it to, if it does what it needs to do, I might dip my toe into some more fantasy. You never know. I made it to part 3, and I'm anticipating it, but I also don't want the book to end, so I'm probably gonna stop right here and then pick it up tomorrow. But right now I'm like, just tell her you like her, bro, man. Just tell her. And tell her that it's you that's writing her. Because like right now she still thinks that it's like they're rivals and like they're enemies, and I'm like, he's there because he likes you. He's there because he likes you. Tell him or tell her. It's just, but I'm starting to really like, I think I've liked Roman the whole time. I like his vibe, you know, like he's not too like out there, but he's very stern in the way that he cares about her. Like he doesn't budge on things when it comes to her, but I'm like, just tell her you like her. Tell her you like her. But yeah, I'm gonna finish the rest tomorrow before I go to work. Hopefully I'll finish it. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow. But I'm just like, I don't want the book to end, so I'm like taking a break. They kind of got away from me today, so I haven't started reading yet, but I have made my coffee in the cutest cup ever. Look at this. Adorable. And I want to try to read before I have to leave. But regardless, this is getting finished today. I have to go pick something up at Target because I lost my AirPods yesterday, so I had to go buy some more. So I'm gonna read these. I'm gonna read as much as I can before I have to leave, and then we'll go from there. So we'll see. Today will be the day that I finish Divine Rivals. I was supposed to finish it last night, but then I got like a massive stomach ache for no reason. I don't know. So like I just went to bed when I got off work, but I don't have that much left. So I'm going to try to knock this out before I go to the gym or anything today. Since I don't have like a lot of footage for this book, I think I'm going to turn this video into like a romance reader reads fantasy for a week. And I'm going to read this obviously, and then I'm going to read Fourth Wing just so there's like actual content, because I feel like this video is going to be literally 5 minutes long because I'm almost done. So we'll do that. I feel like that's a better idea than me reading like one book. I'll read Fourth Wing too. I feel like I'm going to like Fourth Wing a little bit more. If people say that that's more like a romantasy, like there's like romance is a very heavy like plot in the book. This one, it's not so much. Like it's still a pretty entertaining book, but there's not enough romance in it. Like I'm almost done and I'm like 75% into the book, and they haven't really even like acknowledged feelings yet. And the feelings are one-sided at this point because she still doesn't know who she's talking to. So I think that if Fourth Wing has like a bunch of romance in it, I might be hooked. I just have seen so many people not like it and so many people that I talk to don't like that book. So like, or just don't think it's like the best. It's not like they necessarily hate Fourth Wing, but they don't love it. Because I'm not a fantasy reader, then I'm actually going to really enjoy Fourth Wing to some degree. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm gonna finish Divine Rivals, and then we're gonna go and start Fourth Wing a little later on today. I know like it's a serious situation. Like I know they're in a war, but the way that he consistently shields her body with his own, please. I don't know. At this point, I would just have to drop the fact that I don't like him, or like I don't like him, because at every point when they're in danger, he is constantly using his own body to shield her from whatever danger there might be. Consistently. She saved him one time, and ever since then, he has been literally using his body as a human shield to protect her from everything. I love a damsel. She's not even a damsel. They're in the middle of war, but I just love like the jumping in to protect. Like he's just so ready to do it. I love it. I swear, you guys, he better, it's a romance, right? I don't know the rules in fantasy, because like it has to have a happy ending in like romance, like that's why it's a romance. What do you mean it's an epilogue? What? That's it? I am unwell. I am unwell. I'm gonna go calm down because I am so upset right now. When does the next book come out? Like, I need to know right now. Oh my god. It's October. It doesn't come out till December 26th. It's October. I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. Okay. Okay. The time has come for me to start Fourth Wing. I'm pretty cozy right now, so don't mind me. This is like causing all types of like lighting issues. My cappuccino that I made, it's time. It's time to read. When I tell you how many people want me to read this book, it is actually insane. I'm like, okay girl, fine, I'll do it. I better be wowed, I better be amazed. My life better be changed when I read this. Because the way that people act up out over this book, please, it better come. I heard enemies to lovers, but other than that, I don't know anything about this book. I heard like disability rep, don't know anything else about this book. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna read for like an hour and I'm probably gonna take a nap because I'm actually pretty tired. Work's got me a little stressed, a little busy, but we'll be reading today. It's a little bit longer than an hour, it's literally the next day, but I am 200 pages into Fourth Wing, and when I tell you it was almost a struggle, I mean it really was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so bored for the first like 150 pages, but the last 50 pages have really picked up, so I am, you know, I got a good little bit in. I am going to continue reading, but let me give you some thoughts. First of all, I think this is what's always scared me about fantasy, is that I know that there's a lot of world building in fantasy. And me personally, I'm someone that likes to get right into the story and it was just taking forever. But Dane reminds me of Gale and I already don't like him. I'm just like, he's so annoying. Cause I'm like, dude, we know she's probably not the best fit for this, but here we are and these are what we're doing. So just help me get through it. Like, why are you telling me that like at every turn I'm not gonna be able to survive this? I'm surviving, so give me some more tools so I can continue to survive. I'm not going anywhere. He's so annoying, so annoying. I'm just like, ew, get away. Oh, anyways, that's how I feel. I'm a little bit, because I'm very new to fantasy, like a lot of the elements of like fantasy, like dragons and stuff, like it's taking me a little bit longer to like grasp, and like I have to go back and reread a lot because I'm like, I'm not really fully understanding and fully grasping, but I'm getting there. And so far, you guys know, or maybe you know, I love a villain. I love a villain in Xaden. It's giving me everything I know, but I know the vibes. He's giving me everything I need in like a villain, but I know the vibes, the enemies to lover vibes. I'm like, you don't hate her. You don't hate her like you think you do, bud. And that's okay. So I'm gonna continue reading and then I will give you my thoughts and update you as I continue reading. I found a Fourth Wing playlist and it's been really helping me like get very immersed into this world because I was really struggling to connect with it. But this playlist I found on Spotify is really helping. So if you have not listened, if you have not read Fourth Wing, there's a playlist on Spotify and it's really been doing what it needs to do. It has some really good songs in here too. So it's like this one. It's by Angela Cox. So, but I'll like link it. But I'm gonna start reading now and we're gonna go with this. god. He said, she's merciful, I am not. That is not a flaw that I possess, and that's unfortunate for you. I love him so much. I just like an asshole. I like someone who's just so sure of himself in such a cocky way and arrogant way, but like, it's not like he asked who did this to you because he knows, but I just, the playlist is also really, really helping, like, magnify this experience. So I'm having fun now. When the enemies to lovers starts enemies to lovering, he literally said, he looked at her, saw her wounds, and was like, I should have killed her slower. That's what I like to hear. Never lie to me. I have a feeling I'm gonna love him. I'm going to love him with my whole heart. I feel it. I feel like I'm going to love this man down bad. I'm gonna love this man. Am I admitting that I like a fantasy book like this much? Okay, I did not record myself reading the last like couple pages of Fourth Wing like everyone told me to, but I just finished. I don't know how I feel about this book because like there was times where it was like super interesting and I was hooked, and there was times where I was super bored, but like it's just because there's so much information and I'm not a fantasy reader. There's a lot of information, but I love Xaden. Okay, I love that man, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Tiernan, I think Tiernan the dragon, I don't carry. Her dragon is funny. He's sassy. He's sarcastic. Like her dragon was funny. Like that was honestly carrying it when it was boring because her dragon is so funny. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel. Like the plot twist. I don't know. Like if I had a feeling that was going to happen, and that's why I wasn't like shell shocked or anything. But I was just like, oh, like okay, like I don't know. I'm not a fantasy reader, so maybe I'm just like, I'm missing something, like something just is not clicking in my head. But I'm like it was a good story, but I expected to like, people are crying at the end of this. And it's not like I know what happened. Like I get it, but it's like I didn't know him well enough. I'm trying to explain this without spoiling. I just didn't know him well enough, but I don't know. I will have to think on this because right now I'm giving this book like a 3.5 star. Like it was good. Like Xaden, I really liked Violet towards the end. The beginning she's a bit annoying, but I actually grew to really, really like Violet. Her dragon carried, like Xaden and the dragon carried book. I don't want to carry the book, okay? Dane, Batman, he can go to hell. He can kick rocks. I didn't like him. I said, Dane gives me Gale from Hunger Games vibes. Like I knew he was going to be a problem when he was introduced. It's always like the childhood best friend that like doesn't meet you where you are and is like holding you back, and then they cause problems. Sorry to you. I knew. So I don't know. I'm gonna think on this. I'm gonna go to sleep and then I'm gonna think on my thoughts because I don't really know. Okay? I don't know how I feel about this yet. But honestly, this week of reading fantasy has been very, very interesting, to say the least. Like I don't know what I expected fantasy. I think my assumptions about fantasy were correct. I knew there was a lot of world building, a lot of things that I just wouldn't understand, and I don't have the attention span to care. So like it was really, I know that if I was to get into more fantasy, I would do a lot of skimming and then be confused and I wouldn't really fully get it. Like I just need simple things. I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't want to not get into more fantasy. I think it just really depends on the fantasy. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna gather my thoughts because I did not record me reading any of this.